I'm sorry I'm relegated to just the cell phone, but I don't have access to my computer. So it's been some time here, and hopefully I'll gain access to it again soon. But I just wanted to bring up something and ask you a question. For those people out there that are Christians and still believe in their church and still believe in a rapture and still believe that Jesus is going to come and save you, I want to ask you this just very basic question. When God says that he will, during these times, refine you like fine gold, does that sound like lollipops and candy canes, or does that sound like fire? Because in order to refine gold, it requires a tremendous amount of heat to burn out the impurities that are in the gold. And so you go from having 14 karat to 18 karat. The more impurities are burnt out, the hotter the heat required. Then you have 24 karat. And if we had a heat source to further refine gold, well, it would be exactly as in Scripture speaks of when it says that the streets will be fine gold like clear glass. Interesting. So amazing. Imagine that. A malleable metal, stronger than anything, even though it's soft, and incredibly softer at above 24 karat gold, but translucent and highly conductive of electricity. Interesting. I wonder what spacecraft could be made of that are invisible. So, just a thought. But refinement. What do you think refinement looks like? What do you think refinement feels like? And what impurities are being burnt out of you through refinement, and how does that happen? Well, on this journey, as you understand who you really truly are, what's going to take place is that you get to the next stage. You go through misery and then beauty, and then misery and then beauty, and then misery and then beauty. Remember that finding the truth is, as Revelation speaks of, and it said, give this scroll, eat of this scroll, John, and on your mouth it will be sweet like honey, but in your stomach it will turn bitter. That's because when you learn these truths, it's so beautiful. But then it turns bitter because you begin to see the manifestation of what you've just learned all around you, and it makes you sick. And then you learn something new, and then it makes you sick. Well, look around us right now. What is taking place in this world is staggering. And I smile at it, not because it's not going to be miserable, but because it is the absolute profound confirmation that I've been speaking of for so long. And this is the battle that we've all spoken of. We're ready. So we're also ready for that refinement. Now, many of us have gone through that because we've been discussing these things for many years, and we've already gotten that refinement. We've had to leave our families because they think we're completely nuts. We've given away things, we've changed things, we don't have an ambition to gain wealth. But somehow, the mind of the person accusing you of trying to gain wealth, well, that shows you that they are still hopelessly and helplessly really clinging to this world. Now, the new normal that they're speaking of is a very different one than our new normal, because our new normal has nothing to do with theirs. Nothing at all. And when you see me don these masks of Anonymous, the whole point is that this is an engagement point for us. These are peaceful protests. There are only ways within this world that they can understand these things. They can barely understand my words. You somehow, you do. Those that have ears to hear and eyes to see. It's a remarkable realization, but I just wanted to tell you to not let your hearts be troubled, because the tribulation is for everybody. There's different levels of it. But once you go through these fires And once you begin to let go of everything in this world, those are the impurities being burnt out. All things that are not important. Everything that is not relevant. It's not relevant to who you are anymore. What is relevant is the peace that you have within you and the love that you have for your brother that is also seeking. Those that aren't seeking are lost, and they are going to fall into a pit that is so deep and so wide, they won't ever be able to get back to this side again. And this is a terrifying concept, and that will include many people that you know and love, but they won't ultimately be lost. You're just going to go through the heartache of this in this world because we're still here. You cannot avoid it, but on earth as it is in heaven, just like Christ was saying. Because all of the evidence of calamity and the violation of rights and all of these things, remember that there is a different thing happening outside what you can see on earth as it is in heaven. That moment hasn't come, but the compression of it is, because that is descending upon people right now. That is moving to people. The Christ is waking up. It has impacted everybody in one way or the other, and they don't know what to do with it, and they get scared. Well, this is why we're all here, and anyone that has any questions about this should be definitely discussing this with the people in the comment section, because many of you are very well informed. You've actually taken the time to watch 300 videos. You've taken the time to actually hear the stuff and the things that I went through my tribulation in order that I could bring it to you. And so these are my testimony pieces that somehow can bring you to your testimonial aspect of a very similar situation. Nothing will be exactly the same, but it will feel and look and be the same. This is how you can read Christ's words, and his testimony is the spirit of prophecy. It is what you'll go through. If you want to know where you're at as Christ within that prophetic message, just read his words again. What's he going through? Where's he at? Which town? You're going to see where you're at, and then, and only then, you can see Christ in you in the physical sense. Because what's happening up there and outside of this entire prison planet that we live in is remarkable. It is without number. Without number. And as you go through this refinement process, these things get revealed to you, and you can see them. Not permanently, but you're shown who's here. And boy, does that reinforce your soul. They love you, and they're here to rescue you. They're here to rescue you, but they cannot take you out of this place bearing the weight of the crap that you've built in this world and on your soul. You need to dump this world and everything in it and everything you've ever done. What was, is, and will be is Christ in you.